You might be wondering why I'm holding this. I want to show you this. This is the dissertation that I wrote when I was doing my master's degree in the last semester. An empirical study on the effects of a combined training, blah blah blah. Basically, you can understand it as I made an attempt to fix my pronunciation, and that's all it is about. And I wrote 10,000 words for it. At that point, a lot of stuff that I was trying to write about, I did not even have a clue. There are some mathematical formulas involved. I had no idea how I finally figured it out. What is that? What is that? What is that? So I really made an effort to fix my pronunciation. It actually worked out pretty well. Not in the sense that I now speak like a native, but I improved my comprehensibility, and very importantly, I actually applied this to an English test called PTE. We'll get onto that very quickly. Actually, let's talk about that. So one of the major reasons why I did this research, why I chose this specific topic, I did not necessarily need to do it. I could do like 2 units, this coursework unit. So why did I do it? Because I was taking PTE test and I was really struggling a little bit with my speaking. I was able to score a full mark for all the rest 3 categories, but for speaking, for whatever reason, I just couldn't work it out. So sometimes I got like 74, 76, you know, like that. But I needed, I guess, 79 or 80 something. Yeah, anyway, PTE did not like my way of speaking at all. It literally hated me so much. And I was like, let me figure out how speaking is assessed in PTE, because it's a computer-based test. All of your speaking samples will be stored in the computer and assessed by an algorithm or something like that. They can't just randomly mark your performance. It's got to be based on something scientifically. There must be some research underneath it. So I started digging. I found rhythm is very important in Pearson's assessing system. You may think rhythm is something that's really easy to understand. Like, you got a feeling what rhythm is, but when you want to explicitly explain, it's actually extremely difficult. So just to put it in a simple way, it's a combination of long and short, high and low. When you speak English, you often feel this musical rhythm to it. There are a lot of up and downs, so that's rhythm, the combination of long sounds and short sounds. So when you want to emphasize something, you stretch it longer. You raise your pitch a little bit. Sometimes you speak a little bit louder. And this change of length and pitch give you rhythm. In some language, rhythm is relatively, how do I put it, like even. There aren't a lot of changes. Like in Chinese, when you speak Chinese, like 今天你吃饭了吗? It sounds, I don't know, a little bit monotone because each syllable is in the same length. Da 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 da. But in English, how's your day? And you kind of stretch day a little bit longer. How's your day? Because day is the most important information in this sentence, in this question, right? And you want to make it stand out from the rest, so you stretch it. By the way, how's your day? Anyway, so that's what I was trying to do and ran into so many problems. Like, my initial proposal was like garbage. And my supervisor, she was not pleased with it, so she wanted me to rewrite it, so I rewrote it a couple of times. Like I mentioned before, rhythm is freakingly complicated, and how you analyze it is really time-consuming. You have to, you know, decode it one by one using this software based on the sound wave, and you have to record it, and you have to, like, I don't even remember how much time that I spent in the library just, you know, staring at a computer screen and trying to figure out what that sound wave is, what is that a vowel, is that a consonant? And we were never taught about this in our program, just a little bit in the unit called the Introduction to Language, because I'm a TESOL major, so we didn't really go into great depth of phonology and prosody, stuff like that. And I had to go on YouTube and read a lot of, you know, books to teach myself. Another problem was recruiting students, participants who were willing to take part in my research. I thought it's gonna be a really easy process, but I reached out to 3, I guess, institutions locally here in Canberra, and 2 of them basically rejected me right away, and 1 was like, okay, let's have a meeting. I think I sold my idea pretty well. They recruited, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 like students at ANU. They're all international students from China. Fast forward to the end of the semester, it was pretty good. I did really well, like surprisingly well. Got a high distinction for this dissertation. I got 90 out of 100, which is the highest score that I've ever scored in all of the new units that I've taken throughout my TESOL course. I vividly remember my supervisor told me that, are you ready for more research? You should probably do a PhD, something like that. Now, I'm really seriously thinking about it, committing to this idea. I think I'll probably make a separate video to talk about this PhD application process. Right now, I'm just, starting out baby. I don't really know too much about it. I think I need to read a lot of textbook to just catch up with these linguistic majors, because TESOL is actually pretty different from linguistics. So more exciting than the score that I got for this dissertation is I put it into practice. And remember I mentioned about PTE, I struggled with that, right? So basically I applied everything that I learned on PTE test. And guess what? I passed. I think I scored like 86 or 87. I'll put it like a picture somewhere here or there. So I think Raven is really important when it comes to speaking in PTE test. And earlier this year, I took PTE again and I got 90 in my speaking. So I think this really worked out pretty well. That's all very well and good, but I think all of these are just an extra bonus. What's truly rewarding about this whole experience is it truly taught me the importance of taking responsibility for your own learning. And to be completely honest with you guys, I think I got the most value out of this TESOL master's program, which is crazily expensive in my opinion from this dissertation experience. If it wasn't for this experience, I think I would probably be really regretful now. Why do I say that? Because like I said, it really taught me to become an independent learner, to take responsibility for my own learning. Going into this research project, I did not know a thing about what I was trying to investigate. I thought I knew pretty much everything. I thought I just need to read a couple of papers and that would be it. And because before that, the 2 research that I've done was pretty much like doing an interview, collecting data, what people say, and do a survey, just sum things up, and that's pretty much it. That's easy to do. I did not do a quantitative analyzing sort of research, and that's something completely new to me. That's not my usual territory. That's not something that I feel really comfortable about. I have to get out of my comfort zone and to learn new stuff. Nobody was out there available to teach me. And even my supervisor, she's not an expert in prosody, and prosody is something that I'm trying to engage. I have to teach myself, be myself as a teacher, and search these materials and try to figure things out. A lot of problems. It's really a process filled with so many problems. Every day I was trying to solve problems after problems after problems, and there's like no end to it. It wasn't a really like a pleasant experience when I was doing it, but now looking back at it, it was really rewarding. It's a skill that's transferable. It's something that I can take away, and I do think I benefited from this experience and all the skill that I built. Now even doing this, videos for you guys, it's a mini research project for me. Starting from curiosity, you throw yourself a couple of questions and you start collecting materials and resources, information, and see what's relevant, and you distill it into something that can be put together to deliver this message. That's very similar to doing this research. It also helps me to truly understand the difference, like major difference between going to school and education. When you're going to school, you're just learning information that you may not necessarily need. You're just sitting there passively receiving information, thinking it's so boring. Why am I here? What I'm doing here? What I'm doing with my life? You have no idea. You're just sitting there receiving all this information like everybody else. And school produce quote-unquote talents in mass quantity, which means you're easily replaceable. If they can teach you, they can teach everybody else. Sometimes we equalize this to learning, but it's actually not learning. It's just sitting there receiving information. You have to take responsibility for yourself. You have to give yourself, feed yourself questions through your curiosity and actually try to solve it and move on to the next question and keep on solving more and more problems until you land on something that you're satisfied with. So that's a true meaning of education. And this is a real skill that we need to acquire through going to school. But it's not a skill that school actually teach, which is pretty ironic. You have to teach yourself that. And you can carry this over to your English learning when you sense that your learning efficiency is not quite there. When you try to sit down and study, you often feel drowsy and sleepy. Maybe think about why is so, how you can solve this problem. When everybody is talking about one popular theory to learn language, maybe think about if this is what you want, if this is something that will truly work for you. Think about your own reality and your own condition. In my opinion, that's another form of problem solving, just that you're solving different problems. But the skill that's required to address these problems is the same. Yeah, so that's transferable skill. That's a transferable skill. That's the most valuable thing in the world, I would say. Well, this may not be something that you expected. You may think this video is about accent, pronunciation, how you can fix that, but it's actually about problem solving, which I personally think is more valuable. I hope you get a little bit of value out of this video. If you did, I'm really glad. And before you go, here's a quick plug-in ad for my language learning course. So my second language learning acquisition course is now available. It's not your conventional, typical, normal English course that teaches you grammar, vocabulary, all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. It focuses on a little bit second language acquisition, mostly psycholinguistics, so how your brain works and how you can actually match the way that you study with how your brain works so that you can significantly improve your learning efficiency. So if you don't want to waste any more time on language learning, like watching all these videos, just hearing people saying different things about the language learning, try this method and that method, and you want to truly level up your language learning game, I think this course is for you. I guess I'll see you there. Bye.